what they could do is I like Southern hospitality. I know a lot of the boys on there. I think that Vanderpump Rules, like, I think Alex Baskin can look at that as like kind of like a little template because that's the kind of people you need. They're kind of in between careers. They're managers. They're in those shitty apartments. They're all sleeping together. They're attractive, so go out and get that. Get some actors, like get people that can, deliver the lines, like, and they're, hot. And, I think it's going to work if they just do it right. So I think Southern hospitality, I like it. I mean, I don't relate to any of those people, but I watch it.
No, I don't relate to any of these people. And yes, and of course, Vanderpump, it's going to be different. This will be diverse. There'll
Yeah.
probably be someone gay or, whatnot, which is great. But like, yeah, make sure there's some history and then there's a chance that it could work. I'm sure, look, Alex is great. I'm sure
Yes.
that, right, Vanderpump Villa, no, it's not great. Now we're going to have Stassi on it because that's how she got her own show on Hulu. It's like, okay, come on this one. And Lisa, we love Lisa. She's like, oh, this is the best thing that ever happened to the damn show. Bring Stassi on tomorrow. What a way to just say fuck you to Bravo and
I
everyone
love
who fired her. It's like, I have my own show on Hulu now. Way
I
bigger
love
than
it.
Bravo.
And that's why
Me
cancellations don't
too.
stick.
No.
Like as a publicist, I've seen people the where the cancellations stick is if you do anything to dogs or children, then it'll stick. Otherwise, if you act accordingly and you show some remorse, I think it's when you don't show remorse and you double down on an apology. They both showed a remorse. When all this stuff came out, she like was like, I fucked up. Kristen said the same thing. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have said it. And they moved on. So I think like as long as you take some ownership, again, I don't like what they said and I'm never gonna like defend it. But I'm also like, these are also not, they're not working for the UN. Like we're watching reality TV, House of Villains. People say and do dumb things. That's why we watch them. So if they get so sanitized, it just like that's what happened with RHONY. They're too worried about don't say shrooms, don't say sex, don't say this. Like they're just so self-censoring, and that's why it's not funny and good.
I agree. I'm totally what you just said. I say everything, and people that listen to me all the time, they're like, "I'm confused. Like, I thought you don't like Melissa. Now today you don't like Teresa." I'm like, "Yeah, like it changes by the day. I'm a human being with eyes. There's no team. It's authentic." I also don't believe in cancel culture at all. I feel that we're kind of over that. Like Justine Bateman, the actress, just did a huge interview and they were like, so you voted for Trump? And she's like, I'm not, don't do that to me. She's like, we're not talking about that today. But she's like, I'm just telling you that cancel culture is over, that I felt I couldn't speak for 4 years and, or whatever, maybe more. But it's interesting. And it wasn't about politics really at all. They try to
Right.
bring politics. She's like, I just don't believe in that cancel culture. And I believe that people are sick of it and people will say whatever they want nowadays. And I'm like, well, I always was saying what I kind of wanted. And when people do try to cancel me, like I just had Jenny Newen from Salt Lake on my podcast, people were like, how could you give a platform to like a known racist? And I just respond like, your attempt to cancel me has been canceled. That's my standard. Like, feel free to use that. It's like, I know
Yeah.
what you're doing. I mean, first of all, we're in year 5 here. We give a platform to everybody that's on brand. That's the actual job.
Yeah.
And that's her story to tell. It's not mine, but I don't know
That's
where
the way
you've
to
been for
go.
5 years. But this comment, you're also now thinking I'm gonna like, I don't cower in the corner. Like, that's not gonna work with me. So
No, it
I do
doesn't.
believe cancel culture is over, and I just don't like that holier than thou attitude. We all have said things in our
Yes.
past since we were
Yes.
born and we were 15 years old, 19 years old, 20. We all have said dumb things.
Absolutely. And what happened to allowing someone to have some education? Maybe Jenny still has the same opinions. Maybe she learned something from that experience. I mean, you just don't know, right? Like
Mhm.
I always said, like, I will never speak about clients. Like I would never, that's my integrity. I said on a high horse. Anyone that does interviews about their clients, I mean, look at me now. Like if I
I
was on some
love it.
horse and I literally made my entire career about talking about my former clients. So you don't want to be like the butt of the joke where you're such a contradiction. So now I try not to say things like, and also like not to make it political, but there is a difference between a Trump diehard supporter and someone who voted for Trump. And I think this country is the Democrats are like, it's full of hate. But then you're telling someone you're going to kill them if they voted for Trump. So you're doing the same thing essentially. It's just you're acting like you're better because you're like, I'm progressive. So I think for me, like, I used to be like that too. I'm like, you voted for Trump, you're a Republican, you're a bad person. Or like, like I even did this with Whitney. that one of the people went to January 6th. Again, I'm not saying that was obviously horrible, but someone she knew, I then antagonized her about it, Whitney from Salt Lake. I'm like, why am I
Yeah.
DMing Whitney from Salt Lake talking about a friend she knows who went to the insurrection? Like, this is too much. It's too much. Like, leave her alone.
I never did any of that. Maybe I'm just a narcissist who's self obsessed. I'm just like, you do you, boo. You want to go have an orgy tonight and swing from the ceilings and cheat on and have an affair with a married person and vote this way. I literally don't care. Like it's not my, it doesn't mean I don't know that I'm a Gemini. I could really be like, I am relating to you as a person and I just want to have a drink and have fun. And I like you as a person and you're not coming at me. So
Yes.
I trust you as a human. So I truly don't care what you do outside of that. I don't
I
care. When did our world become so sick that you're supposed to agree with everything? I'm like, people are always like, I'm sorry, David. I don't like Teresa or whatever, Melissa. I'm like, you could disagree with me every day. I'm going to block you when you go really low personally.
yes. Yes.
But even that, but I'm like, you could disagree with me. I don't, you don't have to agree with me. Don't. I
Yeah.
don't know. Just listen to Behind the Velvet Rope. Go and vote any fucking way you want. I don't
And do
care.
what you
So
want. Like and I'm a Gemini too, so like I'm the same. But it took me a while to get here where I'm just kind of like, I want to keep my side of the street clean. You do what you need to do. And I used to be very like even with Kelly Dodd, we used to get into it on Instagram. And then I met her a couple of weeks ago in Orange County. We hit it off. She was absolutely wonderful. I know she has a lot of drama now with Andy Cohen, and when the camera's on Kelly, she goes cray cray. But I saw her in person. She's absolutely lovely to me and my aunt. We talked for a good amount. She held my hand. I mean, she was absolutely lovely. So I spent all this time being so contentious about her. Again, I don't agree with everything that comes out of her mouth, but also when I saw her in person, no cameras, she was absolutely wonderful.
it's an edited version of somebody. It's like you can't go by that, right? It's like just it's not their real life.
It isn't. It isn't.
It's not. See, this is why you're perfect for a podcast, your own podcast. Before we wrap up, just how do you feel about like the other stuff going on in pop culture, like Diddy, all this? I mean, I'm not even up on it. Like I saw the other day, or like whatever. Like now they raided his jail cell. Like I guess they found like letters. He's doing stuff. Like, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to get out of jail.
I don't think so. And what really kind of, I try not to follow it because whenever children are involved, I get really like, it's hard for me because I'm just like, oh, you're sick. But, as someone who worked in Hollywood, let's not pretend this industry has been doing stuff like this. The Teen Wolf director was having parties with underage children on his part. This is something, Harvey Weinstein, there was so many allegations that they literally let him off out of the jail. Again, I'm not saying let Diddy go, but there is also kind of like the Martha Stewart effect. They're trying to kind of make an example of Diddy, which is fine. He's done a lot of effed up things. I'm not defending him. He should be in prison. He should rot there for the rest of his life. But also, why are we like, because even with Martha Stewart, I saw her documentary and I didn't know that she actually didn't go for insider trading. They tried to get her for lying to the police, but her lawyer told her to do that. So I think it's like celebrities sometimes, even with Paris Hilton, they put you in prison because they kind